Hello my darlings, I would love us to do a little bit of a catch-up as I do my evening skincare routine. So what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about what IJ has been up to, the reason of the bumpiness in my YouTube videos, and we're going to talk about the last 4 books that I have read. You know, this is a good way to get to know me. Let's get into the routine first, then we can settle down and have a chat. To take off my makeup, I am using the cult classic, the OG, the Liz Earle Cleanse and Polish. This came into my life as a gift. It is something I have experienced in the past, but because of what I know, it is not something I could easily buy. I know other affordable cleansers that I can use to remove my makeup. But if you are a skincare lover and you've never tried it, it's a cult classic. It's definitely worth trying. Liz Earle has fantastic sales on their website. Sign up to them. They're always offering a deal on something. After I cleansed my skin, I went in with the Origins Mega Mushroom Relief and Resilience Soothing Face Mask. Once again, something else that I got as a gift. It's alright. My socks are not being blown off, but here we are, we'll use it up. I needed my eyes and I thought we could turn down the lights as well, really relax into our evening routine. So the face mask is on. Let's talk about the first thing I want to address is my bumpy, erratic appearances on YouTube. I have finally decided to pursue something that is very me. Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like I've mentioned this before, have I? Anyway, IJ has decided to become a holistic esthetician. I know, I like it. I really like it. I like how it sounds. I love the vision I am creating in my head, and that has really influenced my choices in terms of YouTube this year, changing how I create content and what I create content about. Technically, I want this channel to be for my future clients. I want them to use it as a place of reference. I want us to gather around here, and yeah, and that's why I'm really just focused on slow, intentional creation. Another thing that I'm really focused on doing this year, or rather before I even get to start my practice, because I have a lot of study time to do, Lord have mercy. Anyway, before I get there, I want to do quite a lot of brand reviews, and the main reason behind those brand reviews is for me to discover brands that I want to be a part of my practice, brands that I trust, products that I trust. I want to have this really solid repertoire of product knowledge so that I'm able to bring them into my practice, of course, and to also recommend them to clients. That's also a reason why I'm doing brand reviews. I want to be able to recommend a brand or a product to a client and tell them, go to my channel, watch his videos, see if it's making sense, and get back to me. In a way I don't have to repeat myself, and if a client falls in love with a product from a brand, she has somewhere to reference. She doesn't have to get back to me. Now, I've been saying she a lot because I do have a desire to only serve women. I am open to serving trans women, but I need context. I need to have more trans women in my life for me to fully make that decision. But I don't think I want to open my practice to men. And it's no shade, god damn it, I love the damn humans, you know, I love them. But I feel like my practice is very much so of the feminine. As I said, I'm going to be having a holistic approach, so it's not just about the face, the skin. I want to be able to hold space for my clients I am also enrolled into a counseling course, which I'm going to be attaching to my work. I want to be able to have a really good framework to hold this so-called space. I'm also doing a little bit about food because I want to help my clients navigate their food stories, something that I'm so passionate about and something that is truly tied to my beauty story. Look at the smile on my face. I mean, it's going to be something beautiful. It's something I am working with my therapist on. She's guiding me through and being my amazing cheerleader, and because she also has a holistic approach to the way she works, I think we resonate from that point. And she's like, I see you, I feel you, I see where you're going, I see what you're trying to do. And yeah, it's putting a smile on my face. And I will say one thing. For the last decade, I have tried to find my source of income, and nothing's really quite stuck. And it has been a touch frustrating, but I am one tenacious baby, okay? And I know every bit of knowledge, every bit of experience is a building block towards fill in the blank, towards that, you know. It's also been a crazy past 6, 7, 8 years of my life. A lot has happened. I continue to put one foot in front of the other and have an immense amount of faith in myself. I know I'm not a lazy person. You know, because we attach laziness to failure. We think we failed because we didn't do enough. And you know, I'm all about unpacking this suitcase of productivity and what our parents sold to us as success. I didn't fail because I was lazy. That's one thing about Ija. Ija is not lazy. She is one tenacious baby. Let's hydrate the face. I just went in with my can of water. This is the Uriage First Thermal Water. You've heard me talk about this. I'm excited, I'm grateful, but enough of that. I will keep updating you in little ways through my videos over my journey. I don't know how long it will take me, but I'm putting one foot in front of the other and having an incredible amount of faith and surrender in my journey. I have a big vision. I have a big vision. Lord, I have a big vision. Now, I'm doing something very, very cute towards my esthetician ways. I am going on a sabbatical. Let's first start with, I love that word. It is such a big daddy word. Sabbatical, okay? I am choosing to dedicate my summer to what I am calling a sabbatical. This thing I am creating requires me to put my head down and do quite a bit of studying. Sorry, I stutter. It also requires me to sharpen my discipline, sharpen my timekeeping ways, sharpen my ways of how to tune out white noise and really buckle down to work. For me, discipline and all these things that I have mentioned are muscles. They need to be constantly worked on and fed and nourished and rested as well. And I feel I can do all that in my sabbatical. I got my game plan and I'm excited. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more of that in another video. But one of the main things I am going to be doing is reading. I need to read. I need to really get into my library. I have quite a few books that I want to get through, and some will be kept, some will be decluttered. I will also be doing lots of library dates, which I really like the idea of. But with that being said, I want to share with you 4 of the last books that I read. You know, just it's a way for you to get to know me a little bit more. A way for my future client to get to know me. I'm here and I know she's waiting for me to show up, so I gotta show up. Does that make sense? You know, my therapist said if I put it out there who I am, those who need me will find me. Just the way she put herself out there and I found her and her clients have found her is the same way I'll be found. So let's get to know IJ through the last 4 books she read. The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli, a cult classic for some people, I guess. I studied politics in university. I am very aware of Machiavelli's work. I did read The Prince in university, but I feel like his work is the type of work you kind of come back to, because the more you mature as a person, the more you understand his work. Machiavelli was very chess-like, 3, 4, 5 moves ahead in life. There's a reason also why his work is still being read 3, 4 centuries later. It is exceptional. The way his mind works. Some people call it evil genius. It is in many ways, but that's the world we live in. For real, it's not checkers, it's chess. And while we may all not be seated in government figuring things out, I feel like books like these, they provide us little nudges of how we can make better choices in our life. And if anything, they can sharpen your wit and your language skills. That is one of the biggest things I advocate for complicated books. You want to take your English or your way of speech and thought process to the next level, read difficult books. Take out a dictionary and sit with that book. Even if you don't understand the flow of what is being written in the books, at least you learn a few new difficult words, you know? This is just I would call it a cheap rendition of The Prince. I am sure there are better ones written out there. This is nothing special, but it does the job. I read it. It's jotted down full of my little notes. Let's see if I can find a page that has an interesting sentence for us. Let's just stop randomly. IJ, stop. Those who believe that where great personages are concerned, new favors cause old injuries to be forgotten, deceive themselves. Basically, people don't forget. Even if you kiss it and make it all nice, people always remember when you hurt them. I forgot to mention, if you're new around these parts and this is your first time being in such a video like mine, I usually like to grab my skincare samples to do my skincare routine videos. So I'm going to rinse off this mask and do my second cleanse with the Round Lab Mugwort Calming Cleanser. Right, let's do this. Some tea as well, rinsed that off. It was a rather decent cleanser, really thick foam on the skin. Skin doesn't feel stripped. I'm now going to go in with some toner, my dearly beloved Nankin Purifying Toner. I'm then going to go with the Unique Tea Tree Relief Toner. You'll know I like juicy skin, so let's put in another layer of hydration. Just another nice hydrating toner from K-Beauty. Doesn't feel too bad. Tonight is an exfoliation night, so I am going to go in with Shadow Work from Disciple. Right, as that settles in, let's get into the second book. The Anatomy of Female Power, a Masculinist Dissection of Matriarchy by Chinweizu. Wow. You know, there's one thing about an intelligent man that is really suspicious about women, and that thing is actually just sadness. I feel sad because he needs to be loving us, he needs to be on our side, you know, and that's what this book is all about. He calls himself a masculinist. I would call him a very intelligent red pillar. I don't really consume red pill content. I don't listen to men with podcasts, so even that term red pill, I can't definitively say I know what it means. All I know is they're very fearful of women and they think we are these creatures out to get them, and that's what this man thinks, and he puts down his thoughts in a very intelligent way. You can tell he's a very intelligent man for him to write in the way that he has. I found this book in a charity shop for 50p. I saw the word female power and I thought, of course, count me in. I'll even read what he says here. This book is for all the men who have been confused, misused, and abused by women, particularly since the coming of feminism, and definitely not for women. Such an interesting take. I will say this is a very limited edition book. I was very lucky to find it at the charity shop. The person who put it on the shop floor didn't know the value of this book, because when I got home and I googled it, it came up for about 80-90 pounds. So I was like, wow, okay, I found a deal. It's a book I would give a girl who's dating right now in the current climate that we are in, with the way men and women are exchanging discourse on the internet. It must be really crazy and really wild out there. I know it is anyway, and I truly empathize and sympathize. Such an interesting book. Let's quickly find a sentence we can laugh at. I didn't highlight much in this book because it gets to a point when I'm reading this book, I've read it I think about 3 times, and I just start shaking my head like, okay. Whereas male power is hard, aggressive, boastful, female power is soft, passive, and self-efficacy. Whereas male power is like an irresistible force, female power is like an immovable object. Whereas male power acts like a storm, full of motion, sound and fury, female power is like the sun. It is steady, quiet and uncontestable. Against resistance, the male power barks, commands, and pummels, whereas female power whispers, manipulates, and erodes. Interesting. Interesting. Now, the next 2 books, I'm reading them in tangent. One is on my workspace and one is by my bedside table. I will grab the one that I'm still reading through. I have not read this book before. This is my first rodeo with it. I'm going to struggle with the author's name. This is Baldassare Castiglione. I should know how to say this. I've heard his name many a times. The Book of the Courtier. Right, this is another book like The Prince. It is claimed to be a classic for those in leadership, in power, those who are moving in circles of affluence, and etc, etc. I actually find the book to be rather beautiful. It's around the life of the courtier, how you make your moves and how you speak and who you speak to and how to even tell jokes and To be honest, as human beings, this is how we are. How we communicate is so important, and it places us in both places of advantage and disadvantage, and it is only in a place of full self-awareness where you can take full control of your communication and make it work for you. There's also the themes of studying who and what is around you before making the next move. I'm rather enjoying it, to be honest. Chapters where I've laughed, there's a lot that I agree with. I love this fanciful, diplomatic, flowery way of moving through life. I think it makes life a little bit more interesting than this bullish attitude that you must always say what's on your mind and you shouldn't care what people think. That's such a linear way to live, right? This book has also been seriously quoted by the Robert Greene. He has used it extensively in his 48 Laws of Power, which is another book I have in my library. Love that book. Worth reading, especially if you like Mr. Greene's work. It gives you a little bit more context. In fact, that's one of the reasons I picked up this book when I saw it in the charity shops, because I knew it from Mr. Greene's work. Let's see if we can find something that I have highlighted to make us think for a moment. I've noticed I haven't highlighted quite a lot in this book. Then as for the physical appearance of a courtier, I would say that all that is necessary is that he should be neither too small nor too big, since either of these two conditions cause a certain contemptuous wonder, and men built in this way are stared at as if they were monsters. However, if one is forced to choose between the two evils, then it is better to be on the small side than unduly large. For men who are so huge are often found to be rather thick-headed, and more so over, they are unsuited for sports and recreation, which I think are most important for the courtier. Being human can be a roller coaster if we want it to be, but that's just the way we are as humans, you know. We jump to assumptions really quick and we make decisions from the moment we meet someone. And like the courtier, if you're aware of this, you can take it and use it to your advantage. Okay, that has settled in. So I'm just going to rehydrate the skin and moisturize. I've got a few options here, but I think I'm gonna stick to this. I am going to go in with the what is this? The Skin 1004 Bakuchiol Eye Cream. I'm going to use this as a face cream. Decent, feels nice on the skin. I'm then going to finish up with the Skin 1004 Hylusika Sleeping Pack, and I am going to mix that with a few drops of the Night Beauty Oil from Bellano's Skin Botanic. I love this stuff, absolutely love it. No routine is complete for me without a few drops of oil. The skin feels lush, loved, and ready for bedtime. I've just realized I've forgotten lip balm, but I'll put that on much later in the evening. I've still got an hour or so before I go to bed. Right, let us finish up this video. I have got the first Masochist by James Cleugh. Not quite sure how to say his name. I will make Cleugh. Of course, in the description box I will list all the books I am talking about in this video. This is meant to be a biography of someone who is considered to be the first masochist, Leopold von Sascha Masoch. Once again, I am not sure if I'm saying the man's name right, but let's first start with, I don't think he's the first masochist. I think maybe he's the first to document it. You know, we act like kink is a new thing, and I have this theory that kink is not new. Kink is as old as we have been thinking about sex. For me, kink is an expression of how sex has evolved from being just a reproductive action. Now, I need a time machine to prove my theory. But I stand on my theory. Kink is old. Kink is old, okay? But this is such a fabulous book, and it's such a step away from this man's thoughts. Mr. Leopold, I would say yes, Leopold. He is a lover of women. He worships at the altar of women, and a part of his love is to be of servitude to women, and he wants pain and humiliation to be a part of that servitude. I think it would do every woman a bit of good, just a little bit of good, to study these kind of men. You know, can you just imagine a man wanting to worship you? I mean, you know, one of my greatest mentors said something that has always stayed with me. Before man worshipped God, he worshipped woman. So yeah, second rodeo. This is my second time reading this book. I do not remember highlighting it, so I think out of all the books I have read to you, I don't think I am going to read anything from the first Masochist, but it is such a delightful read. The first time I read it, I had such a big smile on my face. I celebrated the human who decided to walk this path unapologetically. In fact, he ruined himself for the love of his kink. If you study goddesses, quite a few of them lead men to destruction. That is a part of what they say is the dark feminine. Yeah, lead yourself to ruin for me. I mean, why not? Purr. And with that, my darlings, I want to thank you so much for being here. This video has put a smile on my face. I hope it's put a smile on your face too. Down in the description box, I will tag and mention everything I have spoken about in this video. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. I ask that you wish me and sprinkle my journey with all your love and support down in the comments. My name is Ijoma, and I'll see you soon.